Cream demanded something from the blood ancestor. Cream claimed to know where Abraham and the others were hiding. He then pulled out a bomb and held it in his hand. He knew that the blood ancestor would gain memories from the transformed humans. If he didn't get what he wanted, he would detonate the bomb. Curious, the blood ancestor asked what he wanted. Cream said he wanted Roosevelt Island, with no vampires or law enforcement on it. Additionally, he wanted control of all the black market business. In return, the blood ancestor offered to assist with any clues or finding specific individuals. At this moment, Eichhorst was about to lose his temper. However, the blood ancestor intervened and stopped him. The blood ancestor wanted to see how long Cream's daydream would last. Cream, who had no bargaining chips left, was terrified and desperately begged, saying he didn't want anything, but the blood ancestor was already angry and extended his stinger to bite Cream's neck. On the other side, Abraham woke up after being injected with medication. He dragged his weary body and walked outside. When he saw his companions in the living room, Abraham finally felt relieved. F was excited to see Abraham safe and they embraced each other. Afterward, F reminded him to rest more. Gus slowly approached, expressing his desire to continue fighting alongside Abraham. Abraham seemed emotional upon hearing this, mentioning that they could have fought side by side, but he joined forces with Cream along the way. Gus, feeling ashamed, expressed that he just wanted to survive. F continued to administer fluids to Abraham. Thanks to F's treatment, Abraham's condition had improved significantly. F showed Abraham the human concentration camp he had found. Abraham recognized it immediately, as it resembled the scenes from the concentration camps in Germany. Eichhorst was undoubtedly the mastermind behind this plan. Their goal was to deceive survivors and use them as food. Now the only way to defeat the blood ancestor is to read the keywords in the oxidolumen. F told Abraham not to worry and to focus on recovering his health first. He pulled out a bottle of warfarin from his pocket. This is a blood thinner, commonly found in rat poison. Then F mentioned how he used rat poison to kill thousands of vampires. Upon hearing this, Abraham said he would give F a prescription. It was developed by alchemists in the last century. It contained instructions on how to extract bloodworms, when absorbed by the human body, could restore vitality, prolong life, and prevent infection from the vampire virus. F found it impossible, as he had already conducted hundreds of experiments. Abraham mentioned that he was already 95 years old this year and had been able to continue fighting because of it. Subsequently, F brought a captured vampire to the laboratory. He followed the prescription to extract the bloodworms. Soon, F had a large bottle of it, enough for Abraham to regain all his strength and continue the fight. Gus returned to the campsite and started organizing weapons and ammunition. This time, he chose not to flee anymore. Raoul hesitated for a moment after seeing this. Then he picked up the gun from the table as well. He also wanted to fight alongside Gus. They transported a nuclear bomb into the city. Later, Vasily and the others arrived at the riverside to plan how to transport the nuclear bomb to Manhattan. After a survey, Vasily realized there were no vampires on the bridge. This was clearly a trap set by the blood ancestor. While they were discussing what to do, there was a sudden and intense explosion on the bridge. The bridge leading to Manhattan was instantly shattered. Before Vasily and the others could react, other bridges also experienced severe explosions. The blood ancestor looked satisfied as he watched the bridges collapse. Now they couldn't transport the nuclear bomb. Desai then revealed that he filled the tunnels leading to Manhattan with bombs. Even if Vasily and the others brainstormed, they would have no solution. The blood ancestor was pleased with Desai's capability. At this point, Cream had already been transformed into a vampire. Therefore, the blood ancestor found Abraham's hideout in Cream's memories. He assigned this task to Eichhorst. Meanwhile, Abraham was studying the oxidolumen inside the hideout. Only Alex was with him. Suddenly, they heard Eichhorst's voice, accompanied by several vampires. Alex immediately opened fire, but Eichhorst evaded the shots. Cream, who had mutated into a vampire, snapped her neck. Abraham immediately pulls up the sword of Sadhu and prepares to fight him. Eichhorst looked disdainful and signaled for Abraham to stop struggling. Cream prepared to attack, but Eichhorst stopped her. He wanted to personally settle this grudge, causing Cream to immediately retreat. The battle between the two sides was about to begin. Abraham attacked first, but Eichhorst easily dodged his feeble swords. Suddenly the sword falls to the ground, and Abraham is instantly exhausted. In order to humiliate Abraham, Eichhorst asks him to pick up his sword and continue. Abraham bends down.
So where is your god now?
Watching you. Through me.
So now you are an avenging angel. An instrument of divine retribution.
No, just an ordinary man. But that is all that will be required to bring your master to his knees.
This statement seems to have angered Eichhorst, and he is preparing to turn Abraham into a vampire. He wants him to witness firsthand how vampires achieve victory. Suddenly, the sound of gunshots is heard, and it turns out that Gus and another person have arrived in time. Seeing the situation is not favorable, Eichhorst pushes Gus and the other person away and escapes. Afterwards, Gus checks Abraham's injuries. Seeing that Abraham is fine, Gus tells him to wait here for a moment while he continues to chase after Eichhorst. The two of them walk in a dark corridor, searching for Eichhorst's figure. Suddenly, a dark shadow flashes by, and when they turn around to shoot, it has disappeared. As they continue walking inside, a few drops of white blood fall on Raoul's head, and a nematode lands on his face. In the next second, it directly burrows into his eyeball. In the midst of Raoul's panic, Eichhorst suddenly descends from above and takes Raoul hostage. After mocking Gus, he immediately snaps Raoul's neck on the spot. Gus immediately opens fire, but in the next second, he is ambushed by Cream, who tightly restrains Gus against the wall. At this moment, Eichhorst walks over from the side. He greatly admires Gus's courage and wants to turn him into a vampire for his own use. Just as he is about to extend the stinger, an unexpected incident occurs. It turns out Abraham has arrived in time. Eichhorst becomes angry and knocks Abraham to the ground. He exerts all his strength to pull out the Sutta sword inserted in his body. He steps forward and grabs Abraham, wanting him to admit his own failure personally. Abraham responds with disdain, saying if they're going to fight, they should hurry up. Eichhorst extends the stinger and bites his neck. Then, a bottle of medication falls from Abraham's hand. It is the warfarin given to him by F. Halfway through sucking, Eichhorst suddenly feels something is wrong. He then withdraws the stinger, but it's too late now. The warfarin has already entered his body. Gus immediately begins to counterattack upon witnessing this. He restrains Cream and stabs his neck with a nearby small knife. Abraham, holding the Sutta sword, slowly stands up. Looking at Eichhorst, who is spitting white blood, Abraham reveals the truth to him. He took a bottle of warfarin before coming here, intending to die with him. After finishing, Abraham makes him raise his head. He wants the blood ancestor to witness how his underlings are being slain. Soon, through Eichhorst, the blood ancestor sees this scene.
I have something to say to you. You are the hunger, the strain that feeds on us since time immemorial. But make no mistake, you're still a parasite. And we will flush you out and burn you. It will not be me. It will not be now. But it will happen, no matter how long it takes. In another face, in other eyes, you will see me as you die.
Abraham raises the Sutta sword and beheads Eichhorst with one strike. The blood ancestor's most loyal servant is now dead, and Abraham's long-standing grudge is finally avenged. After an unknown amount of time, F completes the extraction of the white blood and rushes back. As soon as he enters, he sees a floor covered in corpses, and then F continues walking inside. The sight before him brings him joy. He sees Eichhorst's decapitated head lying in a pool of blood. Just then, someone suddenly approaches from behind. Upon closer inspection, it turns out to be Gus. Dutch and the two of them immediately inquire about what happened here. Where are Abraham and Raoul? Upon hearing that Raoul has already died, Dutch begins to worry about Abraham's safety. Seeing Gus's distressed expression, the two of them sense that something major is not right. Gus brings the two of them to Abraham's room, where he is still studying the oxydolumen. Dutch is relieved to see that Abraham is fine. When he turned around, several nematodes had appeared on his face. Dutch and the others are stunned in place upon seeing this. Abraham says he doesn't have much time left. He needs to understand the oxydolumen quickly. Upon seeing this, F immediately wants to examine Abraham, but Abraham points his sword directly at F, saying he only wants to use his remaining time to study the oxydolumen. F was helpless after hearing this. On the other side, In order to enter Manhattan, Vasily and the others find a boat to cross the river. However, there are many guards on the shore. Since Vasily and the others are wanted, Roman is of great use in this situation. The guards approach to check Roman's identity, and after confirming it, they prepare to inspect the boat. But at this moment, the lights suddenly go out. After dealing with these small soldiers, Vasily walks out of the cabin. They have successfully transported the nuclear bomb into Manhattan. Now the problem is where to hide the bomb. Vasily drives the car to the largest reserve bank on Wall Street. After getting out of the car, Vasily gives a walkie-talkie and a gun to Roman. Roman wants to join Vasily and the others. Upon hearing this, Vasily immediately refuses Roman on the spot because the bomb needs to be guarded for 24 hours. Reluctantly, Roman has to stay here. Meanwhile, Abraham still refuses to receive treatment, which worries Dutch a lot. Just then, Vasily and Quinlan arrive at the base. Upon entering the house and seeing the sad expressions of everyone, they are puzzled. Vasily then approaches and starts boasting about finding the nuclear bomb, but when he stands in front of Abraham, he notices the nematodes on his face. Vasily immediately asks what happened. In the next moment, Abraham almost loses his balance and almost falls to the ground. Seeing this, everyone rushes forward to support him. Once Abraham is seated, he begins to explain his last words. In the past few days, he has found some more clues in the oxidolumen. Upon hearing this, Vasily immediately asks what to do with the nuclear bomb he brought, but Abraham still hopes to use the power mentioned in the book to destroy the blood ancestor, and asks Vasily not to let his efforts go to waste. Seeing Abraham's repeated request, Vasily agrees without hesitation. Then Abraham hands the oxidolumen to Vasily, as he is the most trusted teammate in Abraham's life. After finishing his instructions, Abraham suddenly feels a buzzing sensation in his head. Then he turns around and picks up the Sutta sword one last time. With the support of his teammates, he slowly stands up. He points his sword at Quinlan, hoping Quinlan will end his life. Quinlan walks slowly towards Abraham and takes the Sutta sword from his hand. Abraham kneels down in front of Quinlan. He takes one last look at his comrades who fought side by side with him, and then signals Quinlan to strike. Afterwards, they bury Abraham together with their combined efforts. He fought against vampires his whole life, remaining unwavering no matter what obstacles he faced. This spirit deeply admires Quinlan. Everyone sat together and discussed what to do now. Vasily thinks the nuclear bomb is still a viable option, but F wants to honor Abraham's last words. Quinlan suggests that Abraham was likely being controlled by the blood ancestor when he was unclear-minded, trying to mislead them. Upon hearing this, F immediately opposes it, stating that even if the nuclear bomb works, millions of people have already died and the world is in a nuclear winter after the last explosion. Detonating another bomb in the city would be a devastating blow to humanity. Vasily gets angry upon hearing this. Thinking F is indecisive, F brings up Abraham's last words. As the two argue fiercely, Quinlan decides to go and deploy the nuclear bomb immediately. Vasily immediately stops him, stating that they don't know where the blood ancestor is hiding now. Just then, Dutch interrupts their argument. She knows how to find blood ancestors, and the only breakthrough is Desai. He is the human that the blood ancestor trusts the most, so he is likely to know the blood ancestor's whereabouts. They just need to capture him. On the other side, Gus returns to the base and gathers all his brothers. He tells everyone how Cream turned into a vampire and was killed by him. Gus says that now they face a battle that determines the survival of humanity and hopes to get everyone's help. This mission is extremely dangerous. It's okay if someone quits, because Gus has always treated everyone with loyalty. His brothers express their willingness to follow him.